Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Purnachandra Higher Secondary School. Okay. So in the previous class, we are discussing about the determination of magnetic field on the axial line of a bar magnet. Okay. In the previous class, we have already discussed how we will calculate the magnetic field on the axial line of the bar magnet. Okay. So in this class, we are discussing the determination of magnetic field on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. Clear? So now, first of all, let us take care. So what is an axial line? We have discussed in the previous class. The axial line is the line which is passing through the center of the bar magnet through the axis. Passing through the axis is called the axial line. Whereas, what is equatorial line? Let us discuss. So equatorial line is that line which is perpendicular to the axis of the dipole and passing through the just midpoint of the bar magnet. Clear? Okay. So again I will repeat. Equatorial line is that line which is perpendicular to the axis of the bar magnet and passing through the midpoint of the bar magnet. Okay. So here the OP, here in this figure, as we have seen in this figure, here OP is the equatorial line. Clear all of you? Okay. So and in this line, we will assuming a point P. So at point P, we are going to find out the magnetic field due to the bar magnet. Clear all of you? Okay. So now, first of all, we are assuming that. Let us consider. First of all, let us consider a bar magnet. Okay, having a length 12. So let us consider a bar magnet, okay, having length is equal to 12, clear, okay, and the pole strength is equal to n, clear. So we are assuming that, or we are considering that we have taken a bar magnet having a length 12. So this is the, as you have seen in this, so this is your bar magnet having north pole and south pole, okay, and the length of the bar magnet is 12 and the pole strength, here I have mentioned the pole strength is your n. Very simple. Clear all of you? Okay. So now, first of all, one by one we have to calculate. First of all, we have to calculate the magnetic field at point P due to the north pole. Number one. Number two, I have to find out the magnetic field at point P due to the south pole of the bar magnet. Clear? So one by one I have to first find out. Okay. So now let us first find out at point P. Okay, the magnetic field due to the north pole, okay, of bar magnet. Clear? So we have to denote it as Bn. Let us denote it as B subscript n. Clear? So let us apply the formula. So Bn is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi. Clear? Pole strength divided the distance between the pole, that is the north pole, and the point P. So what is the distance? So this is the distance of point P from the midpoint is your D. This is your length 12, means this is L and this is L. So this is L and this is D. Again I repeat, this is L and this is D. So this is your D square plus L square root over. Okay. So the distance is nothing but your NP whole square. Clear? And what is the direction of it? The direction is very important. Look at it. The direction is, it is the north pole. So the magnetic field lines is going outward. So that is the direction of the direction of the magnetic field Bn is Np, along Np. Clear all of you? That is from N to P. Okay. So this is the Bn. I will consider the magnetic field at point P due to the north pole is your Bn. So Bn is nothing but mu 0 by 4 pi. That is your pole strength divided by Np whole square. Np means the distance between the north pole and the point P where we are going to find out the magnetic field. Okay. So now that is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi m. And what is the value of np? The value of np is d square plus n square root over whole square. Very simple. So that means that is your only d square plus n square. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is root over whole square. So that means I can write mu 0 divided by 4 pi m divided by d square plus n square. Very simple. Clear all of you? So this is the magnetic field due to the north pole at the point P. Okay, now similarly at point P due to the south pole, I have to find out and I will denote it as Bs. Clear? So Bs is equal to, similarly I can find out, look at here, Bs is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi pole strength divided by the distance between this. So the distance is sp, so sp whole square. Very simple. Okay, but I have to find out the direction. So look at here, the direction is from P to S because this is south pole. So that's why it is attractive. Okay, entering. So this is towards the south pole. So this the direction is along PS, not SP. Clear? So now that is equal to mu 0 divided by the value is remain same. Mu 0 divided by 4 pi m and the SP value is d square plus n square. Simply root over whole square, that means d square plus n square. Clear? So now this is Bn and this is Bs. Very simple. Understood? Okay. So now all of you look at the figure. The Bn and the Bs. Again, repeat. The Bn and the Bs are the two sides. Which sides? The PA and PB. Okay? Parallelogram. Clear all of you? Okay? Again, repeat. The Bs and the Bn and the Bs are the two sides in this figure. The two sides of a parallelogram. So in the parallelogram, which is the parallelogram? PACB is the parallelogram. Okay, so in this parallelogram we are going to find out the resultant will this. If BN represent the PA and BS represent the PB, then PC represent the resultant magnetic field. So our aim or our requirement to find out that one, that is PC, the value of PC. Okay, so for this what we are going to do, so this is now over. Okay, so our aim to find out the value of PC. Okay, so to find out the value of PC, let us take two triangles. Look at very carefully. Okay, so in this figure, from the triangles, which triangles? Look at the triangles. One is your PCA triangle. From the triangles PCA, okay, and PSL. Let us take these two triangles. From the triangles PC and PCA and PSL. Let us take two triangles. Okay, so these from the two triangles, okay, we can conclude that these two triangles are similar. By applying the mathematical rules, we can get these two are the similar. Okay, this is very important. So now the triangle PCA and the triangle PSL are conclude that they are similar. Okay, so now this triangle PCA and PSN, they are similar. Okay, so now if they are similar, then okay, what I can write? Look at very carefully. So I can write PC divided by this SN. So PC divided by SN is equal to, okay, PA, okay, so PA divided by this NP. If PCA triangle and PSN triangle are similar, okay, then I can write PC divided by this is equal to PA divided by this NP. Okay, so what is our aim? Our aim to find out the PC value. So simple. PC is equal to, I can write PA divided by MP into SN. Okay, so one by one value I have to put. Okay, so what is the value of PA? PA is nothing but the BN. Very simple. Okay, now into what is SN? Look at here, what is SN? What is the length of SN? 12. The length of SN is 12 divided by NP. NP is D square plus L square root over simply. Okay, now I have to put the BN value which just previously I have derived. Just previously I have derived the BN value. Okay, so what is the value of BN value? Let us put it there. Mu 0 divided by 4 pi m divided by D square plus L square. This is the value of BN. Okay, and rest is 2L divided by this, that is D square L square root over simply. Okay, so now that is equal to, so this is root over means 1 by 2 to the power 1 by 2 and this is 1. So I can write mu 0 4 pi, so m into 12. What is m into 12? This is m into 12. Okay, and divided by, I can write D square plus L square 3 by 2. 3 by 2 means, look at here, so this is your, this root over can be, I can write as power of 1 by 2 and this is 1, so this is 3 by 2. And m into 12 gives me the magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so now that is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi, so m into 12 gives me the magnetic dipole moment capital M divided by D square plus L square divided. Very simple. Okay, so now already also the resultant magnetic field I have got. Clear all of you? The resultant magnetic field I have got. So what is the value? Let us write it. So the value of the resultant magnetic field B, okay, that is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi m divided by D square plus L square. Very simple. So this is your resultant magnetic field at point P. Clear all of you? So at point P, this is the resultant magnetic field simply. Now, as we know that this D in comparison to this L is much greater. That means the L is much lesser than D. That means this can be neglected very simply. Okay, so I can write out there D is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi m divided by, so I can neglect it. So what I can write? Now D square into 3 by 2, the L square can be neglected. Clear? So that is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi. Okay, so this is m divided by, so this square, this to cancel out, this is just simply dq. Okay, so this is my expression of your resultant magnetic field, okay, due to a bar magnet at the point P. Understood all of you? Clear all of you? Okay, so this is very important. This is very important. So this is the resultant magnetic field at point P. P means the P point is present on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. Okay, so at point P, this is very important. Previously we have, in the previous class we have derived the magnetic field at some point on the axial line of the bar magnet. This is also very important. In this class I have derived the magnetic field at any point on the equatorial line of the bar magnet. This is the expression. So B is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi m divided by dq. Understood all of you? Clear? So this is my expression. This is very important. Clear all of you? Understood all of you? Okay. Now Okay, so now another the last part, the last section, okay, of this class. Let us discuss. We have to find out the magnetic moment, okay, due to a revolving electron, due to a revolving electron. Okay, so let us find out what is my magnetic dipole moment or magnetic moment due to a revolving electron. So for this, suppose this is your nucleus. All of you know that the nucleus is positively charged, okay, and around the nucleus the electrons are revolving in the specific orbits. Clear? The nucleus are revolving in this manner. Understood? Suppose the radius of the path I will take it as r. Clear? The radius of the path I will take it as r. Okay, and suppose this is your electron. You can take this is my electron. Very simple. So electron, this is your e. Clear all of you? Okay, and this due to the flow of electron. Suppose this is my direction of flow of current. Okay, so due to the flow of current, the magnetic moment is applied in this direction. Let the magnetic moment, I will take it as m, and as it is due to the electrons, let us take it as me. Okay, and this is the direction of your angular momentum, L. Clear? Okay, so these things let us we have drawn in the figure. As we will know, every material contains atom. Very simple. And in the atom, okay, in the atom, the free electrons or the electrons are revolving around the nucleus continuously. Okay, in a particular orbit with some orbital velocity. This is very important. With some orbital velocity. Okay, so due to this, listen very carefully. Due to this revolution of the electron around the nucleus, okay, they will create a magnetic field around it. They will create a magnetic field around it. Why? Because due to your orbital motion of the electron around the nucleus, a current is supposed to be flow, okay, in this orbital path. Let us denote the current as I. Very simple. Clear all of you? So one by one I have to find out that the electron. What is the first of all I have to find out? So what is the orbital velocity of the? Clear all of you? Okay. So now again I will repeat one thing. As we know that the electrons are revolving around the nucleus continuously of an atom. Okay. So due to this revolution, some current is produced or generated or supposed to be flow in this orbital path. Due to this, a magnetic field is produced. Clear? Okay. And the magnetic field is having some or they will behave as a magnetic dipole with some dipole moment. The dipole moment direction is I mentioned here. This is the direction of ME because the current flow. Look at this current flow. It is anti-clockwise in nature. Understood all of you? Clear? This is anti-clockwise in nature. Clear all of you? So one by one, first of all, I have to find out what is my orbital velocity. So let us find out the orbital speed of the electron. So the orbital speed of the electron, let us denote as V. So V is equal to how much? One by one. So V is equal to the total path covered divided by time taken. Very simple. The velocity of speed is equal to the total path cover. What is the total path cover? That is the circumference. That is 2 pi r. That is the 2 pi. The total path covered by the electron divided by the total time taken. Let us take it as t. Clear? Where r is the radius of the path. I mentioned here. So this is the orbital speed. E is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. Okay. Clear all of you? Okay. So now here the charge is electron. The charge is electron E, very simple. Okay, so due to the charge, due to this charge electron, what is the current flow? So the charge is electron E. Okay, so due to this, the current flow in the orbital I, the current flow in the orbit, let us put it I. So I, what is the formula? I is equal to Q by T, very simple. I is equal to the charge divided by time. So what is the charge? Charge is the charge of electron divided by the time period, the time taken for revolution, E by T, very simple. Clear? So now T, next we have to find out the T. So what is the time period? Now time period of revolution T is equal to, we know that time period of revolution is 2 pi divided by omega, because omega is equal to 2 pi by T, so T is equal to 2 pi by omega, where omega is the angular velocity, very simple. Okay, and we know that the angular velocity is very careful. We know that the angular velocity, the relationship between angular velocity and linear velocity is your omega is equal to v by r. We know that omega is equal to v by r. Very simple. So that means I can write directly that I is the charge T. So in place of T I have to put it. So what I have to put? Now E omega divided by 2 pi. Clear? Okay. So now again omega value is v by r. So VE divided by 2 pi r. Understood all of you? So this is the amount of current. Again I will repeat. This is the amount of current. Okay. Flowing in this orbit due to the motion of the charge. Clear all of you? Okay. So now this is the amount of current. Now we have to find out what is our aim. Our aim to find out the magnetic moment. Okay. So what is the expression of the magnetic moment now? The magnetic moment, I will denote it as ME. Okay. So magnetic moment formula I already know, that is the current into the area. The current I into the area. So that is equal to, look at very carefully. So current value I have derived, that is VE divided by 2 pi r in what is A? A is the area. So area of this path is your pi r square. Clear? So now these r 1 are cancelled out. Okay. So what I will get here? Look at very carefully. So that is VE pi r. Pi cancel out. Pi cancel out. So I already VE r divided by 2. VER divided by 2. I have already. Okay. So magnetic moment ME is equal to VER divided by 2, or simply I can write half of EVR. Simply half of EVR. Clear all of you? Okay. So this is. So let us resort it. Okay. So let us the expression I have to resort the expression. Look at it very carefully. So what I can write? Look at here. So what the magnetic moment I have got? ME is equal to half EVR. Okay, so let us divide. Look at very carefully. Let us divide the mass of electron. Okay, and multiply the mass of electron. So half ME, and this is ME EVR. Clear? Okay, so this is E by 2ME, and this is your ME here. Understood? So what is this M here? This M here is nothing but L. This M here is nothing but L. L is called your angular momentum. L is called angular momentum. So L is equal to mass of electron, velocity of electron, and radius of the path. M here. This is my L. Understood? So now look at it. This is the final expression of your magnetic moment. Okay, but in this expression there is a term E by 2me. E by 2me. Look at very carefully. E by 2me. This is called gyromagnetic ratio. Okay, this ratio is a very important significance. This ratio E by 2me is called gyromagnetic ratio. Okay, so this is called gyromagnetic ratio, and this is my final magnetic moment, that is E divided by 2me into L in terms of angular moment. These are the two. So this is the expression of your angular moment. Understood all of you? Clear? Okay, this is how we can find out. This is 3 marks question to derive the magnetic moment, okay, of a revolving electron. So in this way you can derive it one by one. Okay, so this is your E by 2me is the gyromagnetic ratio, and this is the magnetic moment, okay, due to a revolving electron in terms of your angular moment. Okay, so in this class we will discuss these two. Okay, so have a good day.